Thanks for coming out and watching the oxymoronic Reddit Professional Show, where I showcase the best and worst of the internet. Here I comment on brilliant and hilarious comment chains regarding dumb shit on the internet for you to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with a new video. Enjoy this week's show.
Life pro tip: temporarily homeless. Join a gym. Most gyms right now are hurting and prices have dropped. Former homeless here. I wish I would have thought of this. It's an amazing idea. I used to go away for work for a month and be off for one. Could never afford the £1,000 first month and deposit for a place if I wanted to eat at all. 25% of homeless people in America are employed. 28% of families who are living in a homeless shelter in NYC has at least one employed member. Yep, I was living in my car, had a gym membership and was employed until I had enough for a security deposit on an apartment. I'd wake up every day in the Kmart parking lot, go grab a bite to eat at McDonald's or somewhere cheap, drive over to the gym, work out, shower, and put on my work clothes and head into work. Then I'd change in the bathroom at work into my regular clothes and go to the laundromat and clean my work clothes and street clothes from the day before. Once you get a rhythm, it's easy, but it's hard adjusting initially. It's fucking expensive to be poor, ain't it? Yeah. I had a filling fallout, couldn't afford to get it fixed, so then the tooth rotted. Spread to the next tooth, got infected. Finally had a bit of spare cash, so went to the sliding scale clinic. One tooth has to be extracted, one could be saved with a root canal, but I don't have the money, so out it will go too. But I don't have the $680 for the 2 extractions. So I'll continue to have recurring infections, the decay will spread, I'll be in pain, and the cost to fix it will go up. If something happened and I could never afford to get it fixed, eventually I'll get long-term health consequences from the infections, lose job opportunities because of the appearance, and be in pain all the time. Tooth loss will cause my facial height to collapse. I know this because my husband's about 7 years farther down than the road than I am. That's why it infuriates me when people joke about toothless rednecks. These people desperately want to keep their teeth, but even with good home dental hygiene, if something goes wrong like tooth grinding, weak enamel from acid reflux, or an accident, all you can do is watch your face crumble. I had a friend who was completely surprised by his wife filing a restraining order and filing for divorce. He would go back to work and sleep on a couch, then wake up, go to breakfast, then arrive at work with the other guys. He knew he would have his own apartment soon. However, when I suggested that he join a 24-hour gym, he said it transformed his life. Working out helped him get out of his depression, but having a hot shower was an instant life improvement. He would wash clothes at a laundromat and eat at restaurants. I'm sure he would have figured it out on his own, but I'm glad I sped it up. Definitely need a friend in a situation like that. So hard to think with the negative thoughts, and just a suggestion from a friend can help a bunch. Most gyms' showers are closed right now. However, I used to use this LPT when I was between homes. Worked a full shift and then would go play basketball with all my free time. Shower and clean up and then hopefully go to a girl's house to crash out or just crash in my car. People are getting upset in the comments, but this is actually a good tip. For around 30 to 50 cents a day you can get a good shower, use a clean bathroom, and exercise. Especially with how early gyms open, you could spend most of your day in there just to get into some AC. Libraries too. No showers, but you get plumbing, shelter, internet access, and sometimes access to classes and other programs that teach you new skills or teach fundamental life skills. My brother, who was often homeless, did this for showers and working out as well. If the person is a college student, then they should check what the college has before joining the gym first. Everything a gym has is often available through the college/university and often is already covered by the fees. Great idea if it is a university, but many community colleges don't have the facilities. Gonna go out on a limb here. As someone who has previously been homeless, the kind where people fight over claims on benches with a roof or anywhere you can take shelter from precipitation, this is semi-decent advice. Before spending money you might need for something else, look for a YMCA. Trial memberships are free if you enroll online and give you all the benefits of a member: pool, shower, lounge, weight room, etc. $15 doesn't necessarily seem like a lot when you're homeless, even for a few days, even just crashing on a friend's couch or sleeping in your car, every penny matters. There are resources out there that can help, show you to them and help not make it a chronic or systemic homelessness problem. Edit. There are lots of ways to ethically cut costs to help build yourself back up. Op mentioned a few. The biggest obstacle is honestly mental health. Anyone in this situation needs to reach out. Most cities/counties have resources for this. This probably doesn't make as much sense in a lot of the parts of the United States or other countries. But in Southern California, not only does this make sense, but it's a commonly used tactic. Homelessness is different in the LA area. There are varying degrees of homeless. We have a significant number of homeless people that live out of their cars or move around, occasionally staying in motels or on different people's couches when they can. Realistically, all it takes is a building increasing rent, family kicking you out, a disagreement with a roommate, breaking up with a significant other that was covering rent, being laid off from work, or suddenly being fired from a job to put most people on the streets. The cost of living out here is just so crazy high compared to standard wages, it's nearly impossible to immediately bounce back from something like that on your own. People without family support just end up drifting around. Also in LA, gyms are literally everywhere and very cheap. A 24-hour gym offers amenities like toilets, showers, safe overnight parking, air conditioning, electricity to charge your phone, television, etc. Sometimes as low as, like Op said, only $15 a month. Planet Fitness even gives out free food to customers occasionally. Many people down on their luck do take advantage of this trick. Is there a reason why CA rents are so high? From a foreigner perspective, the US gives no shit if you are on your luck, but CA seems even more harsh. There are structural issues here. Homeowners want to depress the supply of housing because it increases their own home values. C. Supply and demand. They are able to exert disproportionate political power in local elections, who control land development in America, because they are by definition less transient and therefore able to vote in the same local elections year over year. CA makes it very hard to build new housing. See above. CA property taxes are pegged to the value of the house when you purchase. Therefore, there is much lower turnover in housing in CA than is natural. Old people who purchased their 4-bedroom homes for $50K in the 70s literally cannot move, even if they want to, because their property taxes on their new home will be more than their mortgage on their old home. Therefore, you get old couples living in 4-bedroom houses they don't need, while new families live in 2-bedroom apartments because they can't afford anything better. The limit on property taxes in number 3 don't apply to the same extent to office space, edit, because local governments can impose business taxes to make up the shortfall. Therefore, locales like to build lots of office space to make up for their budget shortfalls. It creates a situation where there are lots of office buildings and jobs, but nowhere for the workers to live. This is barely applicable right now during COVID. I live in the northeastern USA. All gym showers are closed/taped off and you're not allowed to use them. I was living in a minivan for several months recently, rock climbing trip, and the only places we found open showers were at a climbing gym in Boise, ID, included with day pass, campground in WY, $2 for unlimited warm water score, and we bought $5 showers once at a general store outside City of Rocks. We had to sneak into campground showers in WA state. Everything else was closed and the shower was campers only. In a totally sold-out campground, we still paid money for them, so ethically, I'm okay with it. It was really inconvenient to find a shower on the road. It's a lot easier to find a body of water at a tolerable temperature and dunk yourself. Sometimes I did the baby wipe thing. As a lady growing out my hair, if it gets greasy and I can't get a shower, I tie it up and wear a bulky headband, and you can hardly tell. Campgrounds are hands down a much cheaper bet for showers than truck stops, though. I work at a pretty big gym franchise in the US. In many of the locations, the locker rooms and showers are closed, and while the monthly fees went down, they've added startup fees, increased the annual fees, and added commitment contracts. Because they lost so much money, they're trying to get it back by tricking you into contracts with hidden fees. Please read everything carefully before signing up for anything. My boss has told us to not include certain info unless asked directly about it, i.e. all the hidden fees. Many people who suffer from homelessness are not the bumbling, drug-crazed person living in a tent that you probably first imagine. It can be people who do not have a consistent nighttime residence, families who are doubling up on living arrangements, use temporary residence as permanent, motels, live in places not meant for housing, car, storage unit, abandoned house, or families who have to place their children in other housing. I've taught quite a few students who are homeless. They are identified by qualifying for McKinney-Vento federal program. 75% of those kids are homeless because multiple families live in the same house, not because they live in a box down the street. In my career, I've heard parents, teachers, and students signal that they have less compassion for students who don't fit the living in a tent homeless stereotype. Most of these kids also have special needs or need language acquisition needs, and there are many barriers society has created that will prevent most of these kids from transitioning into adulthood successfully. The biggest barrier to helping them is our society's established misconceptions about what homelessness is, followed by the lack of compassion required to foster more help for those in need. Thank you for pointing out gyms in California. It's a very concrete example of what homelessness looks like. Many people who suffer from homelessness are not the bumbling, drug-crazed person living in a tent that you probably first imagine. Exactly this. There are very many homeless who manage to blend in and no one suspects a thing. They also tend to work more than people think. I was homeless for around 3 years. I crashed empty apartments, bus stations, airports, hospital lobbies, all kinds of shit. I learned early on if I looked clean and shaved I was pretty much invisible. Being young helped as well. Almost no one ever knew my situation. I saved whatever I could find and managed a POS car eventually, which gave me shelter and more job opportunities. From there I was able to eventually team up with another homeless for a terrible, infested apartment. We're married now in a good house with a big yard and things are so much different after 10 years, but I still am grateful every single night for a bed and an actual shower. There are tons of people who just need some luck and some kindness. They're not the scary bum spouting insanity, they're just normal people who had something go terribly wrong. I just want to say, the world needs more people like Op. I remember the professors who looked out for me. I'm 28 and I'm currently homeless right now, but I won't be for long. Just happen to be in a bad situation, with no support system. One thing leads to another, and all of a sudden you're on the street. For me, I got arrested on a traffic warrant for a failure to appear from a traffic ticket over a year ago that was dropped. Turns out, the courts here have 366 days to press charges still. So they sent a letter to me. I don't know why. I've moved a countless amount of times in the last year to reappear to court for something I thought was taken care of that I never received. Long story short, I get pulled over, booked in jail. Cops were overly aggressive, that's a whole other story. I get out, lose my job, that in turn causes me to lose the place I'm living, then it's back to square one. Now I'm on the street sleeping in my car, but if it weren't for people like Op, I would be dead. People always assume when they see someone homeless or downtrodden that it's all their fault and it must be drug-related or mental illness. Sometimes it is, but other times it's just plain old bad luck. I got nobody to call to come save me, lol.
If you enjoyed this week's effective way to waste time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you are enjoying the series, leave me a comment below. A special shout out to the content creators. You frickin' rock.